Well, hello again, friends. Long time no see. It's been a couple months since part one was done. I'll be honest, we've been busy. I filmed part one right before the holidays, and then we got snowstorms, and we got the holidays. I actually traveled all over the US for the holidays, which was nice to be able to see some family, get caught up, before the big move. And then, speaking of which, the big move. Um, we are, geez, 5 weeks away from the move. So, obviously, getting your affairs in order before you leave the country is it's a busy job. So, part two. I had filmed a part two, but realistically, I didn't want to. A lot of part one was comparing stuff in the US versus Japan. In part two, I don't really want to be that. So here we are refilming part two, and you'll see that part two video as part three with some edits. So here's number two. The reason number two why I'm moving to Japan in now 2025. Excuse the wind, it's quite windy out here. Obviously, you can see I don't have the vest on today. The vest is up for sale, so I'm not wearing it anymore. You'll see it in part three. So, part two, traditions is the big one for me on this one. So, I'm not a religious person, and for the most part, neither is Japan. And I'm talking religion in the concept of the Judeo-Christian mentality. I believe in being good. I believe in moral code. We got a dumpster. Hello. I believe in essentially the Hippocratic Oath for our society. Everybody in our society should almost essentially take the Hippocratic Oath. Above all else, do no harm. And I think that's a great concept for us to, I'm going to switch sides here, go off of. And funny enough, in Japan, generally, again, this is not everyone. You can never generalize 100% a society. However, through traditions and customs, that's kind of their philosophy, right? The impact you have on someone else should be a positive one. Again, always exceptions to the rule, just like any world or society or whatever. But these come down for the concepts of Shintoism and Buddhism, which are arguably the two main religions that existed in Japan historically. Started with Shintoism, later on Buddhism came in from China, and they kind of mixed and integrated to where they're a little bit of both. And now what's great about the traditions is, even though these people don't necessarily, or there's people that don't necessarily believe in Shintoism or Buddhism, they follow and respect the traditions. And I think this speaks monuments, right? So traditionally, when you have somebody who's an atheist, like myself, you have the aggressive atheists, right? Who get mad at people for believing in something, and they get nasty about it, and they are rude about it. On the flip side, you have Japanese culture where they still kind of teach some of the rules of Shintoism and some of the beliefs. And not only that, even if they're not a believer and they go to, let's say, one of the temples, they still do the practices to enter the temple. You still wash your hands properly at the temple. You bow at the temple. You are very respectful of it. And this comes from even being taught as children that in Shintoism, there's a respect that's taught, a honor of everything, including your objects, right? Material possessions, you're still supposed to honor, which is why you see a lot of video game collectors going there and picking up, you know, a original Game Boy in mint condition like it's never been opened. Because even as kids, societally, they're taught to respect their items. As a matter of fact, in traditional Shintoism, there is a god for everything, a deity, if you will. And I'm talking everything. Your table has a god. This leaf over here has a god. And to me, that's really cool. Fun fact, if you didn't know, that's kind of where Pokemon comes from. That's why there's a Pokemon for everything. There's a Pokemon for fish. There's a Pokemon for electricity. There's a Pokemon for leaves. I'm not too sure because I'm not a big Pokemon fan, but I know that the concept of the multiple deities or spirits that exist for every object in existence is loosely based off the religious deities. Also, this is why you see a lot of mascots in Japan. Most people, you watch these videos of Japan and all their giant mascots and stuff like that. It's because those are your spirits. I keep saying deities or gods. They're more like a spirit than a god, but they're an embodiment of it. And even times you'll hear parents, part of my learning the language over there and what I'm trying to learn is I'll watch children's shows, like for toddlers, because I'm pt.2 if I'm lucky. But I'm watching toddler shows to learn language. And a lot of times in there, you'll see them say, "Don't hit Mr. Table," when the kid gets mad and slams his arm on the table. Mr. Table. Table is a personality, a persona. So I'm totally sidetracking here, but it's kind of getting to the point where I'm trying to make here, which is they respect concepts and rules without the faith. And that's kind of the person I am naturally. So I'm very much a person of, I believe in Christian morals and values. I just don't buy into the faith part. And I don't need a punishment of eternal damnation to know that treating other people is bad. Seeing the impact that you have on someone is enough of a deterrent for some of us, not everyone again, but for some of us, that is enough of a deterrent to not be a bad person. Just knowing that your impact on someone is positive or negative. So, traditions and the concept that, most of the society isn't religious. Again, on the Judeo-Christian level and in general. There's been a lot of polls. I'm not going to try to quote any off the cuff because I do these off the cuff. Nothing here is scripted. These are like the deep thoughts with Jack Handy, except instead of being with Jack Handy and some silly quip, it is Wild Phil's deep thoughts in the deep woods, in the deep mountains. So yeah. Also, I come from many, many years of working in the hospitality industry. That's been my career up until this Japan adventure. Most of my life, I've worked in hospitality and hospitality management. And when I see how the hospitality industry is above and beyond as a minimum there, to me, that's awesome. Like that's so cool. And I want to experience it firsthand, not to, be the customer who, I don't know, takes advantages or something, but I've always said, when I do my trainings in hospitality and I train other managers and things like that, I always teach, think of the craziest, best scenario you can think of in the hospitality industry that you had. Let's say you didn't even tell somebody it was your birthday party and you're at a restaurant, you don't even mention birthday party out loud. You say it to somebody on the side and they come by, instead of making a scene, they just bring a treat over and go, hey, we heard it's your birthday. Your friend said it didn't want to be a big scene about it, but we want to show our respects. Right? Awesome. The person doesn't get embarrassed and the company shows appreciation to that customer and that they're paying attention. Same with anniversaries, things like that, right? So that's your minimum in hospitality industry. For me, that's your minimum. That should be your expectation. And that's Japan, right? Don't get me wrong. There's robot restaurants where you got a little robot that comes around, which ironically shows more. Some of those show a little bit more attention to hospitality than even some restaurants I've been to where they'll sit and listen to you complain, right? But I think that attention to detail, the importance of other people, and the hospitality touch, man. Those traditions are just absolutely awesome to me. If you go to Japan and you get on the train, it's infamously dead silent. A lot of American tourists and European tourists say it's almost creepy how quiet it is. Why do you think that is? We're gonna spin around. Whoa. Mailboxes are right there. So this is our turnaround point. We don't need to check the mail. Somebody already did. All right. So why do you think that is? Possibly because people are conscientious about their impact on others in a positive or negative manner. There's nobody dancing on the train, making a TikTok video, being obnoxious. People aren't even taking phone calls. And it's not a rule on most of these places. It's not written anywhere. It's not, you know, a law. It's traditions. Traditions and social expectation. And to me, that's awesome. So, a little bit about me. For those of you who may not come to Wild Phil Presents on Twitch, where I stream games, and soon we'll be doing IRL videos in Japan. But, we gotta step over this. Sorry, we had a bad thunderstorm the last 2 days, and half this road is water, as you've probably seen in the background when I walk by them, or this massive pool here. But if a little bit about me, if you didn't know, I'm kind of an introvert who's an extrovert. I've seen terms like ambivert, stuff like that. You know, I can change depending on what I need to be. But when it comes to how I interact with people in society as a whole, I try to be as quiet as possible. Of course, unless I'm addressed. If you want me to come be your rock star, I got you. But when it comes to how I impact people, if I've got roommates, they don't even know if I'm home or not. I'm just a quiet person who's very conscientious of how I impact people, which I think would make Japan feel more at home for me, in the aspect of I'll be surrounded by other people who essentially are the same way. Unless, of course, we've had drinks. I'm the same way too. If I try to have a good positive impact on everybody. And being surrounded by people who probably do much the same. We just hit our walk step goal, which unfortunately is extremely low because holidays, I've been very inactive. But in winter, I hate winter. This has nothing to do with the video, but I don't like being cold. It's 55 out here right now. I've got a hoodie on, some sweatpants, and my face is numb. So thankfully I'm moving to Southwest Japan, right? Fukuoka area. Guys, I think that about wraps it up. Just want to knock out part 2 and explain, that traditions of Japan and social norms of Japan are part of why I'm going there. They are one of my thousands of reasons. If you haven't already and you've made it this whole way, first of all, you're awesome. I appreciate you making it the whole way. I would say, according to my analytics on the last video, like 10% of you made it the full video. Which is funny because if you look on comments, you would think everybody did. But most of the people that commented negatively on the last video didn't even watch the video more than 10 seconds, which was entertaining to me. But yeah, put a comment down below, your thoughts, positive or negative. I'll try to respond. I usually respond to the good ones, or at least give a good thumbs up and a heart. I try to read all the comments. Last video was a little rough. There's a lot of negativity in the comments, as would be expected, and I expect the same on this one a bit. But like and subscribe. Now, I know a lot of you watch these videos and you don't think that it has much of an algorithm thing, or I'm gonna get this. I'm not gonna give that YouTuber money because I didn't like the video. First of all, I make no money from YouTube, not a penny. I'm not monetized at all. So the like and the subscribe helps out get the video cycling through the algorithm a little bit. Get more people to see it. If you want to go, hey, look at this fool, go ahead and do it. Share the video. If you like what you see also, you can catch me over on Twitch. Same name, Wild Phil Presents. We play games, but more, it's a social hangout. So while I'm gaming, and I do a lot of collabs, We talk about anything, everything. We have talked about everything on that channel, from mental health to, we don't talk politics. That's one of my big no-nos, as you probably know from part 1. We avoid that topic. But we talk about mental health. We talk about funny stuff. Man, we joke around far too much. My gut hurts after every stream, probably. And, you know, we just, anything and everything. It's a good place to socialize and hang out. I also have a Discord that I advertise on that channel. I'm not going to post it in YouTube because due to all the trolls I got from the last video, I really don't want those people in my Discord, to be honest. I don't like negativity that much. So look for part 3. It's going to be coming out next week, guaranteed 100%, because I've already filmed it. I've already edited it. I need to re-edit it because I say it's part 2 in it. But I'm releasing this hopefully on Friday. Next Friday, you'll see part 3. And in that time, I'll be filming part 4. I'll try to squeeze in a part 5 before the move. After that, we're going to have a bit of dead time as I'll be in Japan. I plan on filming my trip to Japan. It's going to be a 3-day excursion, as I have to take the train to the airport, which is a 1-day train trip. And then I have to take the plane, and Japan is 16 hours ahead of me. So needless to say, it's like a 14-hour flight. So needless to say, it's going to be a heck of a journey. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.